the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippine Air Force and U.S. Air Force conducted a combat search and rescue drill in Iba, Zambales. AFP and Sweden bolster strategic defense ties in courtesy visit. COMELEC assures everything are set for May 12 elections. DOTR rolls out new drug test regulations for PUB drivers.
Good day everyone, as well as our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Today is Wednesday, May 7, and we will bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. In behalf of Ralph Suzon, this is Joyce Imbahon for AFP Community News. DWDD Armed Forces News. And the Philippine Air Force and U.S. Air Force conducted a combat search and rescue drill in Iba, Zambales, simulating the rescue of downed airmen in a hostile maritime environment. Meanwhile, the PAF's S-7 aeromedical team provided a simulated in-flight treatment to rescued personnel. The drill included insertion and hoist extraction of helicopter-borne troops, or helicats, with aerial security provided by Bell 25A and Super Huey helicopters. This exercise forms a part of the annual military training between Filipino and American forces, which is being observed by representatives from 19 countries and set to conclude on May 9. DWDD Armed Forces News. The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Kingdom of Sweden have reaffirmed their strategic defense cooperation as AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. welcomed Her Excellency Anna Ferry, Sweden's ambassador to the Philippines, in a courtesy visit yesterday, May 6. The visit underscored the strengthening defense ties between the two nations, focusing on capability development and strategic dialogue. Both leaders discussed expanding bilateral engagements and boosting interoperability to tackle evolving regional and global security challenges. DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio. For other updates, let us hear the details about Northern Luzon Command. AFP brings first panaderia sa Kanayunan to Abeling tribes in Tarlac through whole of nation approach. Go ahead for the details, Joanne.
The Northern Luzon Command, Armed Forces of the Philippines, through the 3rd Mechanized Battalion Philippine Army, facilitated the launching and turnover of a bread-making facility with equipment, the first panaderia sa Kanayunan for the Masikap Abeling Farmers Incorporated on May 6, 2025 at Sitio Tala, Barangay Burgos, San Jose, Tarlac. The panaderia sa Kanayunan is under the 3rd Mechanized Infantry Battalion's Development Support Program, Makabagong Bayanihan para sa Kabuhayan, intended to seek livelihood intervention from different agencies and stakeholders for the realizations of people's organizations' livelihood in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. 702nd Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Cesar A. Molina, as the guest of honor and speaker during the launch, highlighted the significance of a whole-of-nation approach for the success of the project. He said that this project is a testament to the power of collaboration and unwavering dedication made possible through partnerships with various agencies and private sector entities that support the government. And it does not only aims to provide additional income for the organization, but also to inspire broader development in our community. Further, 3rd Mechanized Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Villar emphasized that the project is a result of the bayanihan of the involved agencies and the POs. He further assured assistance for the sustainability of their livelihood. According to Aboitiz Foods, one of the project's benefactors, the bread-making equipment for the facility is worth 200,000 pesos as part of their grant to Masikap Abeling Farmers Incorporated. Meanwhile, the beneficiaries also expressed their heartfelt gratitude to the benefactors and to the AFP for their livelihood and emphasized how the project is a help to them in enhancing the quality of their lives. Ms. Merly Mamaril, chairwoman of the Masikap Abeling Farmers Incorporated, also underscored the perseverance of the 3rd Mechanized Infantry personnel in establishing the facility. She also added that they will work hard to develop and sustain their livelihood livelihood. The launching of the facility in collaboration with the PLGU, Tarlac, LGU Tarlac City, LGU San Jose, Pilmico, DAR Tarlac, Victorian Mula sa Puso, Paso Tarlac, and Test the Tarlac. This is John Sagak reporting from Northern Luzon Command for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne. And the Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, recognized the Philippine Military Academy Siklab Kasilag class of 2028 during the recognition rites at Borromeo Field, Fort Del Pilar, Baguio City. Lieutenant General Cordura, who served as the guest of honor and speaker, congratulated the 310 cadets for successfully completing the challenges of their plebihood. In his address, General Cordura encouraged the newly recognized cadets to uphold the core values of courage, integrity, and loyalty as they take on the responsibilities of serving the nation. And the Philippine Fleet welcomed His Majesty's Australian ship Sydney DDG-42 of the Royal Australian Navy to Rivera Wharf in Subic Bay for a goodwill visit. One of the key moments of the visit was courtesy call by DDG's 42's commanding officer, Commander Ben Weller, to Fleet Commander Rear Admiral Joe Anthony Orbe. The visit also featured subject matter expert exchanges aboard HMAS Sydney, where Philippine Navy personnel engaged in specialized discussion on anti-submarine warfare, rotary flight operations, and communications critical areas for modern naval operations. This goodwill visit underscores the shared commitment of both navies to strengthen maritime cooperation and ensuring regional security and stability.
DWDD, Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Shai about Philippine Fleet Submarine Group joins International Submarine Rescue Exercise. Shaira?
Yes, good afternoon. The Philippine Fleet Submarine Group joined the Invitex Kurtaran Exercise 2025, an international submarine search and rescue drill held in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea near Axis Naval Base, Turkey. The high-level exercise brought together navies from around the world to conduct coordinated operations, including live drills focused on rescuing distressed submarines. These drills included locating and identifying the distressed submarine, search exercise, escape exercise, submarine parachute assistance group exercise, rescue exercise, ventilation exercise, personal transfer under pressure exercise, medical exercise, and medical evacuation. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira. And Major General Arturo Rojas, Commandant of the Philippine Marine Corps, attended the United States Marine Corps reception and evening parade at Marine Barracks in Washington, D.C. General Rojas witnessed the historic Friday evening parade, a showcase of the U.S. Marine Corps' precision, discipline, and rich heritage. The parade also offered guests a powerful display of the dedication and professionalism of the U.S. Marines. And for our national news, Commission on Elections Chairman George Erwin Garcia said the distribution of 7.5 million ballots for the National Capital Region would be completed today, 5 days before the May 12 elections. Garcia said they will start the distribution of ballots to the Treasurer's Office of the cities of Caloocan, Marikina, Pasig, Valenzuela, Quezon, Malabon, Navotas, and San Juan, and Muntinlupa, Taguig, Manila, Makati, Pasay, Las Piñas, Mandaluyong, Parañaque, and the municipality of Pateros. Alongside with this, the final testing and sealing of the automated counting machines will also be completed today. The FTS procedure would ensure that all 104,000 counting machines are fully functional on Election Day.
DWDD, National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear our reporter on the ground about AFP Inspector General visits 10th Infantry Aguila Division. Go ahead for the details, Gina.
Yes, Judge, the Armed Forces of the Philippines Inspector General Lieutenant General Agustin Malinit visited the headquarters of the 10th Infantry Division at Camp General Manuel T. Yan Sr. Lieutenant General Malinit was welcomed by 10ID Commander Major General Alan Hambala. The visit forms part of the annual general inspection of the Eastern Mindanao Command and serves as a validation of the 10ID's operational performance as Joint Task Force Aguila. The visit highlights the AFP's ongoing efforts to ensure operational readiness and strategic alignment across all commands. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Transportation has issued an order mandating strict alcohol and drug testing for drivers of public utility vehicles to ensure road safety and curb impaired driving. Operators must ensure their drivers undergo blood alcohol concentration tests before deployment using accredited breath analyzers and submit to mandatory drug tests every 6 months with additional random screenings conducted as needed. A zero-tolerance policy is also now in place for violators. Drivers found with a back level exceeding 0.05% will be immediately barred from operating a PUV. Those who will test positive for drugs face suspension and must undergo confirmatory testing, with results reported to the Land Transportation Office and the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered an investigation into the alleged defective bollards installed at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 1. Speaking to reporters, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said that bollards were installed in 2019 during the previous administration. Castro said the president wants to know how the procurement was conducted and what specifications were followed. PBBM issued the directive following the accident at the airport when an SUV drove past the bollards and into a group of people, killing 2 individuals, including a 5-year-old child.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And we have a report coming in from GEO about 89th Infantry Battalion supports ROTC inspection at Central Mindanao University. GEO?
Yes, Jai, the 89th Infantry Battalion extended its support to the Reserve Officer Training Corps annual administrative and tactical inspection at Central Mindanao University in Masuan, Maramag. ROTC cadets showcased their skills through parade formations, company drills, and inspections, alongside both written and practical tests in map reading, rifle assembly, knot tying, small unit tactics, and first aid. The 89th Infantry Battalion also provided mobility assets and a weapons display, giving cadets valuable hands-on exposure to real-world military equipment and operational readiness. Following the event, Central Mindanao University expressed its gratitude to the 89th Infantry Battalion for its continued support in strengthening cadet training and development. This is Gio reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gio.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippine embassies and consulates have informed overseas Filipinos that the Commission on Elections has extended the enrollment for online voting from May 7 to May 10. This is to allow more overseas Filipinos to participate in the May 12 midterm elections. The Philippine Consulate General in different countries called on qualified overseas voters to register their mobile devices as soon as possible if they still have not and cast their votes. Philippine Ambassador to Jordan Wilfredo Santos also underscored the importance of active participation of voters overseas as they is part of their contribution to the future of the country.
DWDD National News.
And the Anti-Red Tape Authority will file cases to 131 local government units for failing to establish an electronic business one-stop shop or EBOS. The EBOS aims to eradicate red tape and corruption in processing of public documents. ARTA Director General Ernesto Perez disclosed that they will file cases within the week or next week. He added that they have already sent notices to 431 LGUs asking them to explain why they remain non-compliant with the directive. Perez stressed that President Marcos strictly directed all government processes to be streamlined and digitalized.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear from Ali about Philippine Air Force wraps up second quarter command conference with fun shoot. Ali?
The Philippine Air Force wrapped up its second quarter command conference 2025 with a fan shoot activity at the PAF firing range in Colonel Jesus Villamor Air Base, Pasay City. Commanding General Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura led the culminating event, which aimed to boost morale, camaraderie, physical fitness, and marksmanship skills among Air Force personnel. As part of the program, the Air Force Gender and Development Office turned over essential items for lactation rooms purchased through fans raised during the Zombie Run for a Cause held last March. In his closing remarks, Lieutenant General Cordura highlighted the Air Force's continued commitment to becoming a mission-oriented, capability-driven, and values-based organization. This is Aleli reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ali.
DWDD National
And tensions and conflict in the South China Sea will not diminish in the foreseeable future, according to the National Security Advisor Eduardo Año. Año admits the situation becomes even more complex due to potential flashpoints in the area, which continue to evolve amid rising geopolitical and geoeconomic tensions and shifting global security dynamics. He also blamed China's baseless, excessive, and expansive territorial claims, militarization, and confrontations with its neighbors as the primary factors why tensions in the SCS continue to escalate. According to the Sea Light Project, China doubled its paramilitary force at Scarborough Shoal in the past 2 years.
DWDD National News.
And President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has told newly promoted officers of the Philippine Coast Guard to lead with purpose and serve the country with courage. During the oath of the office of 29 newly promoted flag-ranked PCG officers, PBBM reminded them that their promotions are not merely steps in their careers but are steps forward for the nation. He added that it is a declaration that the Philippines now entrusts them with greater responsibility and expects greater sacrifice to make a legacy the Coast Guard can uphold. PBBM further told the PCG officials that in times of global instability and rising maritime tensions, the nations look to the PCG to stand the ground in stormy seas and never waver in what is right.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear from Kath about Philippine Air Force and Royal Thai Air Force strengthen regional defense cooperation at 7th A2A talks in Thailand. Kath?
The Philippine Air Force and the Royal Thai Air Force have reaffirmed their strategic partnership and shared commitment to regional peace during the 7th Airman to Airman talks held in Bangkok, Thailand. The talks were co-chaired by PAF Vice Commander Major General Aristotel D. Gonzales and RTAF Deputy Chief of the Air Staff for Intelligence, Air Marshal Somail Lilitham, wherein they reviewed progress under the 2021 to 2025 5-year work plan and adopted a new roadmap for 2025 to 2029. The discussion also focused on intelligence sharing, joint training, and disaster response cooperation, underscoring the importance of sustained collaboration despite global challenges. Furthermore, PAF confirmed its participation in the upcoming ASEAN HADR tabletop exercise this August and announced it will host the 8th round of talks in 2026. This is Kat reporting to AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD National News.
And a fair and data-driven approach must guide discussions on nationwide wage hike proposals according to the Department of Labor and Employment. This aims to safeguard worker welfare while preserving economic stability. DOLA Secretary Bienvenido Laguisma said the department has submitted technical inputs to Congress and underscored the need for sustained dialogue among labor, employer, and government sectors amid calls for a 200 peso across-the-board increase in the daily minimum wage. Laguisma also reiterated that while Congress may enact wage legislation, the executive branch provides technical support and policy insights to inform deliberations.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo will attend the 28th meeting of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations of the Caribbean Community on May 8 to 9. Manalo said it is an honor for him to be the first Philippine Foreign Secretary to attend the conference. He added that the milestone engagement with the CARICOM foreign ministers is in keeping with Philippines' foreign policy thrust of expanding diplomatic engagements beyond our traditional partners. According to the DFA chief, the Philippines and CARICOM members share contemporary challenges and common aspirations for the future and have engaged actively in pushing for global action on a range of issues.
DWDD National News.
And for our final news, operatives of the National Bureau of Investigation rescued 10 human trafficking victims during a raid and a fish pen operation in Sual, Pangasinan. 9 of the 10 victims are minors. The rescue operations resulted in the arrest of 5 people, including 2 Chinese and 3 Filipinos, for allegedly violations of anti-trafficking, labor, environmental, and economic sabotage laws. The operation was carried out by agents from the NBI Cybercrime Division and the NBI Special Task Force with support from the local social welfare officers.
DWDD National News.
And before we end our program, the AFP CGSC Foundation Incorporated will resume its hybrid annual membership meeting and election of trustees today, 07 May 2025, 2 p.m. at AFP Education, Training and Doctrine Command, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Members are encouraged to attend in person or join online via Zoom. This is an opportunity to review the foundation's accomplishments, discuss future plans, and elect new board of trustees. To those who cannot attend, may submit a proxy forms which is available at the AFP ETDC headquarters, PMA Alumni Center, AGFU Center, or through Secretariat at the AFP CGSC Foundations Incorporated. With contact details as follows: Miss Mabel 0917-808-1456 and Rodelyn 0927-755-8595, or email the foundation at AFP Foundation Incorporated at gmail.com. And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Jai Simbaon for AFP Community News. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Mga katropa, alam mo ba na ang DWDD 1134 kHz AFP Radio ay ang opisyal na radio station ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng Army, Navy at Air Force na siyang maghahatid sa inyo ng mga balita mula sa ating Armed Forces at iba pang impormasyon. Mga katropa, hanapin at ilike kami sa Facebook, Twitter at YouTube. DWDD AFP Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino.